Okay, well, it's still working. I want to talk about my. You can't go wrong with true self love. In this particular realm, people don't know what true self love is. Because if you had, let me tell you something, if the majority of people who talk about self love had true self love, nothing outside of the love frequency could come into their life. And to be honest with you, if you have true self love in your reality, you're not going to witness. You're not going to really be a witness. This is just my belief. You're not going to be a witness to anything that's outside of love frequency. Because I truly believe that each person have their own universe. I believe the mind is the universe. And I believe each person have their own, well, when I say I know, I do. I don't know about everybody else because some people are literally just programs. They're not real, they're just programs. And so, um, true self love is not about you as a so called physical person. It's more, it's much more than that because self love has to do with the inner person. And who was that said Neville Gardner said that everything that you see is the inner you that's pushed out. Everything that you see on the outside is really in you and is pushed out. Okay. And so what I'm saying is that when a person has unconditional self-love, it's everything that's going on within. It's not about just, okay, yeah, you have certain standards. I mean, that's a part of it. That's an attribute, I believe. When you have certain standards according to how people treat you and stuff like that, what you're going to accept, your self-worth, just stuff like that, taking care of your body, taking care of everything, and treating other people well, right? Taking care of your body. I think self-love goes into all of it because you can't have a nice body and then treat other people like crap either. So self-love goes into all of it. I say that to say there was a couple that I saw recently, right? Looked like a couple. And one can say that the lady looked like she wouldn't pull a man like this. But my thing is, I don't care about how the person looks, right? How the lady looks, because the guy was attractive. And the lady, okay, I guess she looks like some people try to figure out how did she get a man like that because of how she looks. And my thing is, I don't really care about how I look because one person explained it, and I believe I really agree with what they said. When it comes to the spirit world, the spirit don't care about what somebody look like when it comes to love. The spirit is not looking at your looks. Because if spirit only looked at your looks and say, oh, she's attractive, so she deserves love, then Beyonce would have love, Halle Berry would have love. All of these people who are very attractive or very beautiful will have love in their life. If it was just about how somebody looked on the outside. So I don't care about this lady not looking like she could get a man like that. I don't care about that. The man, however, who has he committed to before? I do question that. Like, I'm looking at him a little sideways because not because he's attractive. It's just because I don't. Who has he married? Who has he proposed to? Who has he been engaged to? Stuff like that. Uh, and so I question: is this guy really in love? The answer might be no. And I don't really care about that because this lady is grown enough to take care of herself. She's grown enough to know how to guard her heart. If you're having a good time, have a good time. You're grown enough to know how to guard your heart because you have life experience already. So at that age, I'm just going to have to say, really falling hard for somebody at your age with life experience is kind of going to be on you, even if the guy is not really into it like you. believe he is. Uh, at that, and with that level of experience in life and not being careful with your heart, I'm going to have to blame the lady with her level of experience in life. Okay, uh, because this guy, when I looked at there, I didn't see it in him. I didn't see it in him. It looked like he was acting. It looked like he was acting. But I say that to say, I use the example where you can't go wrong with true self-love because it's not about how you look. Even if the person was 15 years, 20 years younger, they can still love you. Age is really nothing but a number, but you do want to make sure they're legal. And honestly, at my age, shoot, I don't even want anybody to be under 38. Okay? So, but that's just me as a lady. You know, some men 18 is legal in the United States of America, so they're going to go with what's legal. But I do believe age is nothing but a number, but I do want to still be sure that they have a certain level of experience and not just look at some fact that they're not a minor. I can't mess with nobody that's in their 20s and say age ain't nothing but a number. But when it comes to this couple I saw, both of them are, old enough to be grandparents. Okay, both of them are old enough to be grandparents. And so with that being said, age ain't nothing but a number when it comes to that, because both of you guys have life experience. I don't care what the age gap is. Both of you guys have life experience. And it's not about the age that determines love. But with true self-love, like I explained earlier, the inner world that I believe, what's going on in the inner world will determine your experiences, right? And so when you have true unconditional self-love, then regardless of what the guy looks like or what the woman looks like, because it can go for a man or a woman, regardless of what the woman looks like or regardless of what the man looks like, love is going to bring itself to you. So if you have unconditional self-love, I'm talking about real inner unconditional self-love. A lot of people talk about they have self-love and they don't have self-love like that because they don't understand what self-love really is. They got to look at it more esoterically. They have to look at it more esoterically because I'm talking about literally, for me, if I have true unconditional self-love throughout, I would not be witnessing in the world what I'm witnessing. I don't feel like my reality would be this type of world that I'm in if I had true unconditional self-love, because something's still going on with my inner world that the outer world looks the way it does. And I'm talking about with everything, with the world, with the society, everything. So that's what I'm talking about with true unconditional self-love. I'm really talking about your inner world, and everything that you see on the outside has to do with what's going on in the inner world. And with that being said, with unconditional self-love, if everything is on a love frequency and unconditional self-love, then love is going to come to you regardless of what the person look like. I don't care if they ugly. I don't like to call folks ugly. But I don't care if they, I guess, are not so attractive according to how people, society think attractive is. Because I don't like to call folks ugly. I really don't. I don't like to do that. Or whether they're overweight, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If they have true self-love throughout the inner person, then I feel like whatever they experience can't help but to be something that is on a love frequency or higher. Okay? And so my thing is this, to end this. When you have some people, especially specifically women, some men want it too, but I hear a lot of women talk about it, how they just really want to be loved, how they want somebody to love them. The best thing that I have experienced and that I'm still experiencing at this time, the best thing to get that love that you're looking for, because there's nothing wrong with wanting a man. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. And I don't feel like all men, I feel like a lot of men in this particular realm that we see, and women too, but men specifically. And the reason why I'm talking about men, because there's a huge hatred for women in this particular realm. There's a huge hatred. I don't care how much you can criticize a woman and talk about a woman as a hoe and talk about a woman as a hood rat. I don't care how much you criticize a woman. There's a huge hatred of women throughout the world. And anybody who wants to argue that, I think they're either just misinformed or they're lying. They're either misinformed or they're lying, but there is a huge hatred of women throughout the world. And with that being said, in this realm, I'm not witnessing. This would not be a good realm for me to try to find love in. You shouldn't have to find it. The best thing to do is unconditionally love yourself, and love will come to you, because that's all you're going to experience. That's all you're going to experience. But I do believe that in different realms, with more healthier men, that's more on a higher frequency, on more of a love type of frequency, I think they're going to be more balanced with the female, and they're not going to be like the men that we see today. Same thing with women, but I'm talking about a mate though, because people say, well, women do that. Well, I'm not interested in dating a woman though. If I was interested in dating a woman, I would talk about, okay, if I get myself into a complete love frequency, now look for a woman, then that kind of woman will come to me. I'm talking about men because I'm attracted to men. Okay? So it's not about, tearing down men and saying that women are innocent. It's not about that. I'm talking about men because women want to find love from men. And that's what I'm talking about. But in this realm, it seems to be very rare. Okay, that type of love just seems to be very rare in this realm. And so that's why I say, when you have unconditional inner self-love, then what is projected on the outside is going to be more balance and harmony, even in the world. I feel like, I really think your mind is the universe. I really believe that. And so so what's projected on the outside, what you see on the outside, is going to be a reflection of what's on the inside. And if what's on the inside is nothing but unconditional love, unconditional self-love, then love is going to make its way to you. You don't have to want it. You don't have to try to look for it. You don't have to find it. It's going to make its way to you. So what I'm saying is, instead of saying, oh, I want love, or when am I going to find love? Well, the best thing from my experience, and that's what I'm working on right now, the best thing to get that to come with no question is to unconditionally love yourself. So the best thing for me and everybody and other women like that, and men too, but I'm talking about women and other women like that want love like that, to make sure that you don't end up with the a-hole. Okay, and you want somebody to love, even if you're not trying to marry them, you do want a nice companion, right? I feel like to really ensure that is to have the unconditional self-love within. And then everything that comes to you is going to love you, because it can't do nothing else. That's what I think. But anyway, with that being said, I will talk later.